Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're jumping into a really cool story from the Pandavas' time in exile. It's this incredible encounter that's all about mind-blowing strength, a mysterious brother, and a lesson in humility that is just timeless. So let me ask you this. What happens when one of the most powerful heroes in the world, a guy who could literally uproot a forest, gets stopped in his tracks by a tail? It really sets the stage, right? What happens when raw physical power meets a strength it just doesn't understand? All right, so let's set the scene. Our hero is Bhima, the second Pandava brother. They're in exile, and he's off on a mission for his wife, Draupadi. And you've got to understand, Bhima was, well, he was incredibly proud of how strong he was. In his mind, he was the strongest guy around, period.
And this is basically the soundtrack playing in his head as he's stomping through the forest. There's no room for doubt, no humility at all, just this pure, raw confidence in his own might. He thinks he's unstoppable.
So as he's marching along, his path is blocked. But it's not by some huge demon or a fallen mountain, no. It's blocked by the long tail of what looks like a really old, really frail monkey, just kind of chilling on the side of the path. An easy fix, right? Or so he thought. Bhima, full of himself and in a rush, just barks at the monkey to move it, but the monkey's reply is so calm, almost bored. He says he's just too old and weak, and if Bhima's in such a hurry, he can just move the tail himself. You can practically hear the playful challenge in his voice. Okay, and this is where it gets good. Bhima scoffs, grabs the tail with one hand, and pulls. Nothing. He tries both hands. Still nothing. Now he's getting annoyed. He plants his feet, uses all of that legendary strength, and pulls with everything he has. And the tail? It doesn't even twitch. Not one single inch.
Can you imagine? Bhima is just completely baffled, probably drenched in sweat at this point. His whole identity, his pride is shattered. The strongest man alive can't move an old monkey's tail. He's not arrogant anymore. Now he's just confused and angry, yelling out, "What is this magic?" The power dynamic has totally flipped.
So, humbled and completely defeated, Bhima finally gets it. This is no ordinary monkey. All that arrogance just melts away, and now he's full of awe. He actually folds his hands and asks the monkey to please reveal his true form. And the difference between what he thought he saw and what was actually there is just staggering. On the surface, a weak little monkey. But in reality, he's standing in front of Hanuman, a literal divine being, a son of the wind god Vayu, whose power is just beyond anything a mortal could imagine.
And then, the reveal. The monkey smiles and says the words that change everything. "I am your elder brother, Hanuman." See, Bhima is also a son of the wind god Vayu. He's just met his own spiritual big brother.
And in that moment, Hanuman shows his true, massive, divine form, the one you hear about in the stories of the Ramayana. Bhima is left completely speechless, just stunned into total silence by this incredible, majestic sight. Now, this whole encounter wasn't just about knocking Bhima down a peg. It was a teachable moment. Hanuman, the wise elder brother, is about to drop some serious wisdom on Bhima that will stick with him forever. Hanuman explains where his real strength comes from. It's not physical, not really. It's something called Bhakti ball, strength that's born from pure devotion. He tells Bhima that all his power, everything he has, is dedicated to serving Lord Ram. It's a selfless strength, which is why Bhima's ego-driven power couldn't even make a dent. And from this one core idea of devotional strength, Hanuman boils it all down to 3 crucial lessons for his younger brother. 3 things that would completely change how Bhima saw the world and himself.
So lesson 1. Selfless devotion is the ultimate superpower, way beyond any physical strength. 2. True brotherhood isn't just about a family tree. It's about sharing virtues and respect. And finally, the big one for Bhima, the toughest enemy you'll ever fight isn't out there in the world. It's your own ego.
And this wasn't just a nice little chat in the forest. Hanuman made sure this lesson would become a very real, very powerful symbol in the Pandavas' biggest fight ever, the Great War of Kurukshetra. Hanuman gives Bhima an incredible blessing. He promises him that an image of him will fly on the flag of his brother Arjuna's chariot. That flag would be a symbol of his divine presence and protection all through the war, a constant reminder of what he learned that day.
So you can see the clear line, right? It all starts in the forest, where Bhima's ego gets completely shattered. This leads to the divine blessing and the promise of support. And then, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, that very same flag terrifies their enemies and gives the Pandavas unbelievable courage. It all connects back.
And that, right there, is the ultimate lesson of this story. The tale of Bhima and Hanuman isn't just about a strong guy getting humbled. It teaches us something universal, that the greatest strength we can ever find doesn't come from building up our muscles, but from having the courage to break down our own ego.